What's up, everybody? It's Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video today. And today I want to talk about two of my favorite organizations, the WEF, the IMF, and something they both have in common, which is a CBDC, central bank digital currency. I've been talking about CBDCs for a couple of years now, and some people thought I was crazy, but what I've been saying all along, and I'm not the only one, of course, but what people have been saying about these CBDCs are real, and you have to pay attention. Now, I know there's a lot going on in the world that's having you distracted. We have the NBA draft that's taking a lot of people's attention. You know, we have what's going on in France. We have the war with Russia and Ukraine. We have tensions with China. We got so much going on, but you have to pay attention to this because this is going to affect you directly and it could impact your life for years if you are not prepared. So, I have a couple of videos I want you to look at. Both of these videos are within the last couple of weeks, but it shows you where we are headed, and you must act accordingly based on what you see here. Okay, so I'm going to start with this first video. It's from the World Economic Forum. They had a meeting last week over in China, WEF in China. So check this out.
The one final note I will make is that if you think about the benefits of digital money, there are huge potential gains. It's not just about digital forms of physical currency. You can have programmability, units of central bank currency with expiry dates. You could have, as I argue in my book, a potentially better and some people might see it, or a darker world where the government decides that units of central bank money can be used to purchase some things, but not other things that it deems less desirable, like, say, ammunition or drugs or pornography or something of the sort. And that is very powerful in terms of the use of a CBDC, and I think also extremely dangerous for central banks. Because ultimately, if you have different units of central bank money with different characteristics, or if you use central bank money as a conduit for economic policies in a very targeted way, or more broadly for social policies, that could really affect the integrity of central bank money and the integrity and independence of central banks.
So this is the gentleman's credentials, and he was at the convention for the WEF about a week ago, and this was a portion of his speech. But I really like his accent because he can say words so smoothly that if you're not paying attention, you will miss them. One of the key words that he said was ammunition. I want you to say that with me. Let's enunciate it. Ammunition. Ammunition, people. They can program the CBDC so you cannot buy less desirable things. So, who decides what's desirable or not? So that means you can't buy your ammunition. You can't subscribe to your OnlyFans anymore. You can't buy that pack of peanut M&Ms that you like. You can't buy that pizza because someone says it's less desirable. That should wake you up. That should scare you. That they are openly talking about something that people like myself have been saying for the last 2 to 3 years that most of you have been ignoring. But this should really make you think. So now I got one more video I want to show you. So listen to this. And this is from the IMF. Now remember, this is at the convention for the World Economic Forum. The next one is for the IMF. So check this out.
That if we are to be successful, CBDCs could not be fragmented national propositions. To have transactions more efficient and fairer, we need systems that connect countries. In other words, we need interoperability. And for this reason, at the IMF, we are working hard on the concept of a global CBDC platform to trade and to manage risks. And my colleague, Tobias Adrian, will talk more about it later.
So while a lot of people are trying to learn the latest TikTok dance or studying who the Lakers drafted or traded in the NBA, this is what the power players are doing. They are working on a global central bank digital currency. They are working on a global central bank digital currency. And how about that? The president of the IMF, she's also a member of the World Economic Forum. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make it up. So these two organizations are working together behind the scenes to create a global central bank digital currency that has programmable money, money that has an expiration date, and money that can prevent you from buying certain things with it. And the key word is global. So if you live in the United States and your CBDC doesn't work here, and you try to go to another country and use it, guess what? It is global and you still will not be able to use it. Why isn't this being discussed on mainstream news? Why aren't people talking about this at their jobs? Why isn't this all over the world where people should be outraged and downright afraid of this type of control over your money? Where is the outrage? Where is it? I don't see it. And well, let me rephrase it. I don't see it enough. We need a mass majority of people saying, hey, wait a minute, what do you guys think you're doing? Are you an elected official? I don't remember voting for you. How is it that these two organizations have so much power and control over the entire world? Who signed up for this? I didn't sign up for this. But you mean to tell me this is where we're headed and I got to just live with this? And when I try to tell people about it, they look at me like I'm the crazy one? Come on, y'all. Seriously? And I shared this in a previous video also, but I want you to just take a quick look at who are some of the top members of the IMF. Look at these countries and ask yourself, are they involved in any major conflicts going on around the world right now? That's question number one. And then question number two, how many of these nations are members of the BRICS nations and are trying to create a new currency that is outside of the US dollar SWIFT system? So I think that's very important too. So these countries are moving away from the US dollar to create their own currency to trade with outside the US dollar. But they are also part of the IMF, where they are looking to create a global currency. When you tie them into the WEF, that currency could be programmable and prevent you from buying certain things that they consider less desirable. I don't know if you guys see what I see, but I see danger signs all up ahead, and I don't like what I see. It makes me very uncomfortable, and I really wish people thought like I did. No, I won't say that. I wish people could see my perspective and give me some honest feedback. Because am I going crazy or what? Because it just makes me uncomfortable. But when I turn on the news, I don't see this. I don't see topics like this. I don't see discussions like this. So sometimes I feel like I'm on an island. So please, someone tell me what you think. Because this, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, guys. I don't know. So I became aware of Agenda 2030 back in, I'm going to say 2019 or so. And it was on the WEF website. And I think they first published it in 2016 or 2017. So basically, if they published it back in, I'll just say 2017, And that means they did their research and planned for years before they made it public. So when I first saw this, I'm like, how the hell are you going to have people happy and they don't own anything? You own nothing and be happy? That doesn't sound right to me. But what they're doing is they're going to wear people down physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And it's going to be over a period of years, years of hardship and struggle and devastation. And so then they will eventually come in and save the day. That's basically it. And we can see it playing out right now. Rent is out of control all over the world, I believe. Food prices are going up. Um, Utilities. There are a lot of people right now who are trying to decide if they're going to buy food or keep their electricity on. People are really struggling right now. You also have people who are maxing out credit cards just to stay afloat. Then we have the problem with automation. Jobs are being lost, people are getting laid off, and the problem is if you can get another job, it may not pay enough to pay these crazy prices. Inflation is out of control, and many people want to work, but they simply cannot find a job that is going to pay a decent wage. So they're wearing people out financially. People are stressed, people are losing their jobs, and they cannot pay their bills. So, I mean, what do you think is going to happen over time? People are just going to become defeated and they're going to lose hope. And this is when the governments are going to come in and save the day with this central bank digital currency, with universal basic income, and put people in little cubicles, because there may be such a huge homeless problem that people will just be happy just to have a roof over their heads, and that roof will be a small cubicle that they live in. And if people can't afford to buy food and they're starving, they'll be more than happy to eat something. And that something might be crickets or some type of bugs that were created or grown in some big 10-story factory. So this is where we're headed. And I think over years and years of strife and hardship and devastation, people will finally be happy to have some type of food, a roof over their head, and quote unquote safety. So this is how they're going to do it, y'all. And it's playing out right now. And they're rolling out that central bank digital currency. And it's going to be programmable. So you can't buy what you want. You're just going to be able to buy what they tell you can buy and how much of it. And you'll be happy because you'll be relieved that all that pressure and stress is off of you. It's where we are, people. This is where we are. This is where we're headed. And people are not paying attention because they're too busy fighting each other. If you turn on the news or social media, you'll see people fighting over everything except this. The majority of people are fighting over everything except this. We're being divided by race. We're being divided by gender. We're being divided by age. We're being divided by social and economic status. We're being divided over who you prefer better, LeBron or Jordan. It's everything you can think of. People are fighting over, but no one is focused on this, which is the most important thing. And you know what? It's all by design. They're trying to defeat us physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And you know what? I ain't even talk about what happened in 2020 with this here. I ain't even bring that up. But you best believe that was the first punch in this 15-round heavyweight fight. And I tell you what, that knocked a lot of people out, or it stunned them, and it dazed them. So these upcoming blows coming, it's just laying them out. Haymakers. Just beating people down, y'all. Just beating them down. Okay, y'all, guys, so I'm just going to plug myself real quick. I've written a book, Three Pillars of Strength, Increasing Your Physical, Mental, and Spiritual Fitness. Now, the irony is I wrote this book before 2020. because I know how important these things are to being the best we can be. We need to work on being the best we can be physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. But this book is the three pillars of strength, and I wrote this book several years ago, more important than ever. So that's my shameless plug. It is available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and Audible formats. So check it out. But anyway, we all see what's going on. And this is when we need to have a strategy and a game plan. And in addition to checking out my book, we need to become as self sufficient as possible. And one of the first things we can do is own our own homes. Now, I'm going to say something real controversial, and I'm just going to put this out here, and I need you to really just think about your future. Let's just say you live in a house right now and you get laid off from your job and you have a 401k. I don't know how much it is, but what if your 401k exceeds how much you owe on your home? What would you do? If you have a 401k and you lose your job and that 401k exceeds the price of your house, I want you to put two and two together and think about something you could do. I'll just say this. How much stress would you have on you if you know your house is paid for? If all you have to do is pay for utilities and taxes on an early withdrawal, would that be less than your mortgage? Would you be able to get a job that pays less than what you make now to survive if your house is paid for? That's all I'm gonna say. Own your own home, people. Own your own home. Next thing you want to do is stock up on food, water, security, everything you could possibly think you need. Because again, if this money is programmable, you may not be able to buy these things in the future. You may have money, but you can't buy what you want to buy. And this is something that I think everyone should really consider. Buy you a bread maker and buy you a lot of flour and a lot of yeast. Buy it, because if we have food shortages, you can make your own bread. And if you bought a lot of peanut butter and jelly to go along with it, guess what? You're going to eat. So if there's some type of food shortages, there are bread shortages or whatever, and you can make your own bread, fresh bread, and you got peanut butter and jelly, or you got, I don't know, you got honey to put on that bread or whatever, you'll survive. Period. Next, get you some alternative sources of energy. These electric bills are going sky high. You want to have some propane tanks. You want to have some solar generators. You want to be able to power key items in your home if your electric bills get so high or the power is out and you're stuck. So just seriously consider, do what you can to become self-sufficient. Now look at it like this. If you had to stay in your house for a week or a month, could you survive? Could you be moderately comfortable? I'm not saying everything will be 100%, like everything's okay, but could you survive? Think about it. Next, plant a garden. I see so many people saying they don't have the space to grow food because they don't have a house or a yard. You would be surprised what you can do with 5-gallon grow bags. These are white bags that you can just fill up with dirt and you can grow food in your house. I was at Walmart the other day and they had banana trees in pots. Banana trees in pots. So I did a quick search online and on YouTube, and guess what? You can grow a banana tree in your freaking house. You can grow a banana tree in your house if it has adequate sunlight and you can water it. on a consistent basis and keep that soil moist, you can grow a banana tree in your house. You'll be surprised what you can grow in grow bags. You can grow potatoes. You can grow beans. You can grow tomatoes. You can grow all these different things in your house in grow bags if you have the light. If you have sufficient light, you can grow these things, but they won't tell you that. So, if there are food shortages, or they tell you can't buy certain things, please know how to grow your own food of some sort. Some sort. Just think about it, people. Use your mind and don't think you have to rely on them to survive because you don't. But they want you to think you have to. Grow bags, people. You will be shocked what you can do in an apartment. Okay, next, gold and silver. Gold and silver will be key going forward. And here's a strategy for you. A lot of people will say, well, gold and silver, that's no good. I'm all about Bitcoin. And I don't have a problem with Bitcoin. If that's what you want, get it. But you better have some gold and silver also. And the reason I say that is because central banks around the world have been stocking up on gold and silver by the ton. Now, think about this. If inflation continues and if these companies keep laying people off, there could be a lot of houses that come up for foreclosure, whatever. If the economy collapses, if the currency falls for whatever reason, if the BRICS nations overtake the dollar, the purchasing power of the dollar will be drastically reduced. That means assets like real estate will be on sale. And if you only have dollars, you won't be able to partake in the festivities of buying these real estate at suppressed prices. But guess what? Gold and silver have been used as money for thousands of years, and they have no they don't have any outside influence. Gold is gold, silver is silver. They will retain their value. What if you could buy rental property with gold and silver? I think you'll be able to. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to make a video on this. They say you will own nothing and be happy. Well, fool, they talking about you. They're not talking about themselves. You won't own nothing because you ain't got nothing. But wealthy people, they will still have assets. Why can't you have assets? Get you some gold and silver, slowly accumulate it, and sit back. And when the time is right, you're going to get you some assets. So when they say you will own nothing and be happy, they won't be talking about you. Real talk. And last but certainly not least, people, keep a low profile. Don't go around with a big billboard on your shirt saying, come to my house and I got all this stuff. And don't talk to everybody in the world about what you have. Now, see, you may say, well, you're on YouTube, you're talking about this, but look at my views. I don't get that many views. I don't. Just keeping it real. And people who know me in real life, I don't talk about this stuff with them. They have no idea that I talk about this. I talk about what people around me want to talk about. They want to talk about working out, we can do that. You want to talk about the NBA, I got you. You want to talk about the NFL, let's do it. You want to talk about relationships and how people ain't no good, I got you. But when it comes to this stuff here, oh no, I don't talk about this. Mm-mm. Not everyone is ready for it. And if you don't give me any inclination that you want to talk about this type of stuff, we ain't talking about it. So these are my tips, people. You let me know what you guys think. Do you see what I see? But we are in the danger zone. And once they implement the CBDC, there is no turning back. If you have not been preparing by doing at least half the things I have on this list here and some other things, you will be stuck. You will be stuck. But do something, people. Don't just sit back and complain about how bad things are. Now's the time to be aggressive and do not rely on them to help you because the help they're going to give you is not the help you need. And it's definitely ain't the help you want. So stay safe, everybody, but let's talk about it. Let me know what you think. But we are in the danger zone, and if you are not prepared, you are going to be hurting for years to come.